Hey everyone, it's me Ari Dossett, Clamor Sheet. I'm your anthropologist and sociologist. If you're Italian, call me Emiliano, that's my second given name, perfectly fine. Hit the like button, share this video, you can donate the links below, thank you very much. Check my novels on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you can find them. As you can see, I walk on start right now. It's nighttime over here. I'm using a lamp on top of my phone. That's why you see the light bright thing in my face. And it's better now as you can actually see me, or else it would be quite dark in this video. But anyway, in this video, actually I wanted to record one long video, but I decided maybe it's better to do two short videos. Well, short, actually to split the message into so that you can process it better. So, I'm going to talk about, in this video, I'm going to talk about people that stay on the fence for way too long. Okay, let me explain to you. Being on the fence or staying on the fence means that you're not sure about the topic or an individual. Imagine some CEO or some football players accused of sexual harassment or some sex crime. And there are people who support the celebrity that say, man, he's innocent, she's lying on him. Others are saying, well, he did it, he's a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. So the public's divided. But what people think about it doesn't matter. What matters is, did it really happen or not? If it didn't happen, no matter how many people believe it happened, doesn't make that it happened. If it didn't happen, and 1 million people believe it happened, it doesn't automatically mean that it did happen, because 1 million people believe it afterwards. If it did happen, and 1 million people think he's innocent, well, guess what? That doesn't make him innocent. Anyway, what I'm saying is, what people think about it does affect daily life. That is true. But it doesn't change the fact whether it happened or not. But anyway, let's say when people say, well, I'm not sure, he could have done it, but you know what, maybe the woman is lying. I mean, her story doesn't really add up that well. I mean, okay. So let's say now that time passes on. There's a court case, and little by little, it becomes clear that the prosecution has no case. The accuser changed her story multiple times. Her story always contradicted itself. And eventually, even the judge in the case began to doubt the prosecution, thinking, well, why are we still here? So by this time, a lot of people who were claiming that he was guilty began to backtrack. Some began to say, I was wrong. The desperation admitting you were wrong. And others remain silent because they don't want to admit they were wrong. They're just proud. You have people like that. And the people that always supported the guy say, you see, we told you. Oh, and by the way, it happened that people were even convicted for crimes. And later the so-called victim came out and said they lied. And the individual was exonerated. So these things happen in the world. But let's say now that the time is passing on and the proof is showing that the accusation doesn't add up at all. Now, the people who were on the fence have to come off the fence and say, you know what, listen, I was on the fence because I wasn't sure. I don't know everything. There's a lot I don't know. I'm not well informed. So that's why I was on the fence, and rightfully so. However, when the proof is there and the proof shows that nothing about this case adds up, then it's time for people on the fence. So you know what, it's time to get off the fence. We have to decide with what's true. We decide with reality. We decided what's good, and throw this case out, man. Leave the man alone. If you can't prove anything, and if the accusation is so stupid, stop it. Why waste our tax dollars for something like this? But what if now people stay on the fence? Well, I'm not sure, I'm not this, that, or they just avoid them altogether. Those are the type of people you need to watch out with. No. Hey, listen. I want you to pay close attention to what I'm saying when I watch out for people like that. Watch out for people like that, I'm telling you. Because it's people like that that let evil just happen. It's people like that that give evildoers and evil spirits the opportunity to wreak havoc on the earth. Okay. Let's go to something else. Let's say, and this is a fictional example, by the way. It's not something that's based in real life, even though things like this may be happening. Okay, let's say if a guy called John, And John claims he found the cure for cancer. Just one pill, you swallow it, and all the cancer's gone. Okay, so you hear this for the first time. A lot of people think, oh, that's great news. But those with a little bit more of brains, a little bit more intellect think, dude, do you know how many types of cancer exist? And you tell them just swallowing one pill will solve it all? Listen, we're not saying you're a liar. We're not saying you're a scam artist. We're not claiming that you're delusional. We just want more receipts. Because we want to be sure of the case. If you're on the fence with something like that, you should be. Because you're dealing with the health of other people. But let's say now, there's still research ongoing to find this cure. And this guy, John, asked for 10 million for his research. And he has receipts that is close to a breakthrough, which just needs 10 more million. But people decline, they don't want to hear about it, or they make jokes of it, they sabotage his research. Okay? Now, John eventually finds a sponsor elsewhere that helps him, and John has a breakthrough. Okay? And eventually has receipts that this pill is working. Has receipts. It's working, y'all. So now, you might think that, okay, the people that doubted him, the people that told him he was filled with shit, all of that, they would just shut up, or they just come and say, we're wrong, okay? Thank God you didn't listen to us. Thank God you found all the sponsors. Now, because of you, so many people who are suffering cancer will still alive right now. But guess what? The guy has his breakthrough. He makes a publication with scientific receipts. But he's blocked, he is censored, nobody even knows about the guy. Now, 20 years pass by. And in those 20 years, many people died of cancers, y'all. Many cancers. And one day, let's say you bury your grandma or your grandpa or a cousin, anyone in your life that died of cancer recently. You're hurt, you're heartbroken, the funeral's ended, and then you find out, hold on a minute, this guy on TikTok, mentioned on TikTok who found the cure for cancer 20 years ago. And then you look it up and the receipts are there. The case studies are done, the lab studies are done, it's proven, and you think, what? 20 years ago? That means all these people who died of cancer in the past 20 years, they didn't have to die? Wait, the guy applied for grants and he was denied? So he had to struggle to find funding himself? Huh? Oh my God. And so now you realize that your loved one who just passed away of cancer didn't have to die. They could still be alive. Oh, but now it gets more serious. Now you find out that many of your relatives knew the guy 20 years ago was about close to a breakthrough. They even had the opportunities to support him, but didn't do it. And they knew that 20 years ago he had a breakthrough. So I think, well, hold on a minute. So if you guys knew this cure for cancer existed, why the heck didn't you highlight it? Okay, even if the guy who came up with the cure is a trashy, horrible, nasty, mean individual, that is irrelevant. It's not about him or her. It's about the people that need the cure. So, why didn't you highlight the guy? Oh, because the guy has a lifestyle that's something politically correct. Okay, his lifestyle, now, and if he has a bad character, it's irrelevant. What's matters is the people. Okay? That he's a nasty, effed up individual, that's on him. But you have a lot of people who are not, who are suffering from this disease that needs to be cured. But then you begin to ask, why didn't they highlight this guy? Oh, they have an issue against this guy. Oh, because they have a will or have a dislike against this one individual based on nothing. If it was based on something, they should have prioritized well-being of the population above their dislike for the individual. So now you realize, hold on a minute, so these people saw in the past 20 years, in the past generation or 2 decades, they saw so many people die of this disease called cancer. People having funerals, people being heartbroken. There's some people declining. And it didn't move them to empathy. So you know what? Even if we can't stand that guy over there who thought he is something, we don't care how much we dislike the guy. That's our problem. These people here need help. We're going to work with that guy to get these people healed. Simple as that. But hey, let's say you find out that their quote-unquote dislike towards one other guy was more important than the lives of their own relatives and the people they so-called love. their loved ones. Will you still look at these people the same way? Likely not. You won't think, what type of effed up people are you? What type of people are you all? Okay, maybe it's not a cure for cancer. Maybe there's a therapy that works for drug addicts. Let's say there's a program that actually works to get people out of drugs. And now there's so many people dying of drug overdoses. But the main people around keep supporting, arrest the drug dealers, kill the drug dealers, blah, blah, blah. But when it talks about the cure for the actual therapy that helps drug addicts recover. Because if the drug addicts recover, nobody wants drugs anymore, there will be no drug dealing anymore, there will be no drug cartels anymore. But here's the thing, the therapy would include the patients facing they've been neglected by the community. So at some point, the community neglect has to be addressed. And nobody wants to face that about themselves. They're part of the neglect. So for political, narcissistic reasons, they do not promote that cure. Or not cure, I mean that therapy that is effective to get people out of drug addictions. Why? Because people have to expose that they're the problem. Wow. Now, okay. If you're on the fence about something in the beginning, or because it's a bit controversial, or because it's a bit uncertain, rightfully so. I praise you for that. But if you remain on the fence, even after the facts have been proven, you are with the problem. You are part of the problem. But you, contrary to the people who are actually evil, because evil people, when they realize they can't hide anymore and they can't fake anymore, they just come out and be open about evil they're with. And when they do that, they fully decompose and self-destruct. Because no human being can operate against their own design and remain healthy and stable. So when evil people openly come out with the violence and or negativity they're with, it's like a suicide mission. They're destroying themselves openly. You hear me? Contrary to evil people are on the fence for way too long. They don't want to self-destruct like evil people, but they don't want to cut out the violence, give up the obsession with control, and actually work with a solution. Because that would mean self-reflecting, giving up control, something a lot of people don't want, and learn to, be responsible with being a vulnerable and fragile creature, which is what you are as a human being. So they don't want to self-destruct and fall apart like the narcissist, sociopath, or psychopath. But they also don't want to join the righteous in being stable forever. What do they want? They just want to linger around in between. They're lukewarm. So they want to drain and sabotage and block solutions. And at the same time, when things get too bad, and things get too bad because they are the ones blocking solutions, now they want to go to the evildoers to build them out. And now when evildoers build them out and do evil, not act like they're the victim again. And then they want people to come and rescue them. And when God sends people to rescue them, they sabotage them. Then it starts over and over again. That's why I said book of Revelations. If you're neither hot nor cold, hot means fully operating in righteousness, doing the will of Heavenly Father. Cold means you're a narcissist, social psychopath, you're reprobate, self-destructing. If you're neither of those, you're just lukewarm, like a junkie or a vampire draining the provision of Heavenly Father, God will spit you out. That's what Heavenly Father made plain over there. Now, people are cold, so they're reprobate, narcissist, social psychopath, self-destructing. They're not relevant anyway, just self-destructing. They're evil people self-destructing. Those who are hot doing the will of Heavenly Father, my God, keep going. But it's those in between want to go back and forth, never commit to anything, never be about anything. God tells such people he will spit them out. As a matter of fact, those are the first type of people that are on the list of being deported to the lake of fire forever. The cowardly unbelieving. Okay? As I mentioned, your unbelief isn't just that you have a healthy skepticism before you believe something. Unbelief is also when something is proven to be true, but you don't want it to be true. So now you're finally opposing the reality that's just been proven. Okay? Maybe you have a very good image, view of your dad or an uncle or a relative of yours. And then one day the police come and says, listen, that relative of yours is a serial killer. And first, of course, when you hear this first time, you think, what the heck is this? Please show me some receipts. They show you proof, DNA testing, all of that. They even show you a confession of him. They show you proof of proof, and it's convincing proof, not just one or two pieces of evidence, actual full proof. They even have video footage of him killing one of the victims. It's not AI, it's actually confirmed to be a real video. But you still say, no, 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 no. In this case, it's not healthy skepticism in the sense that you want to know for sure. You know for sure already. You don't want to accept the reality of what it is. So now you're finally opposed as reality. That type of unbelief is evil, y'all. You know what I mean? And there's one thing Jesus always got upset about the most, and that is unbelief. And listen to what I'm saying here, y'all. People were on the fence for way too long. Whatever violence unfolds, whatever evil's unfolding, they're with it. They will always deny this, or they always will play the victim, or they always go off at you when you confront about it, but they are with whatever violence, evil there is unfolding. That's the reality. If they end up admitting it, they'll end up putting it all on you. What are you going to do about it? As if they have no obligation to give up their delusions and comply with justice. It's not even worth to confront people like that, man. So please don't confront them. Don't waste your time and your effort confronting them, because it may backfire on you and bring in extra trouble. When people are on the fence for way too long, watch out for those people. I'm telling you, watch out for them. When you look at human history, anytime there was someone of good quality, the one that brings solution to the community, and that individual end up being set up or murdered, y'all, it's not always the enemy's camp or the evildoers or the satanic cults who did it, y'all. Often, it's their own people around them who they don't want to face themselves that will turn on that individual, because if that individual succeeds, they're exposed. So beware of this. Well, that's it for now. Keep on agreeing with Christ. And again, donate the links below. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next live stream. God is good.